morning, everybody. This is Amy here, and I'm going to start off today's presentation and tell you all, basically give you an overview of some of our digital marketing and social media programs, and then I'm going to talk specifically about some of our campaign initiatives for this year and how various tourism operators can get involved. So I just want to talk to you first a little bit about our strategy, because our strategy really drives everything that we do in all of our social media and digital campaigns. So I just want to start by saying that everything we do is part of an integrated marketing and communication strategy. So everything starts at the overarching level. So we set strategies and objectives at the marketing and advertising level, and what we set there trickles down into our digital marketing and social media programs. So to give you an example, this year at a top level, we set goals and objectives with our Place Names campaign. And everything that we've done with the Place Names campaign, which you've probably seen, we did, there's a revised advertisement on TV, we have digital videos, we've launched offkilterplaces.ca, and now we have a contest running on our social media channels. So as you'll see as I go throughout the presentation, everything we do is holistic, and everything we do is integrated, and that's one of the most important parts of our strategy for marketing and advertising for Newfoundland and Labrador tourism. So when it comes to social media, there are so many different channels out there that it's important to note that we select very specific social media sites to invest our resources into, and we choose those based on the channels that we feel best fulfill our marketing objectives, and we do that based on what types of audiences are on social media channels, how relevant they are to travel and our own brand, and what types of user engagement is on those platforms. So before I get into what specific platforms that we are currently on, it's important to take a look at who our target market is. That really drives what we do in all of our marketing and advertising initiatives. So if you look here, this is our typical couple that we see traveling to Newfoundland and Labrador. They're non-resident. They're primarily from Ontario. It's a touring and explorer market. It's empty nesters, age 45, skewing 50 plus, with no home, their experience, and we call them travelers. They're not tourists. They're not coming to just get next to landmarks. They're coming to really experience cultures, and we take all that into consideration when we do all of our messaging on our various platforms. Now, I will note that we do have secondary markets. You know, we do look at the 25 to 34. We look at the eastern states and places in Europe. But for the purposes of investment of our resources, this is the target market that we really focus on. So based on that, we have our chatter network of social media sites. So that is primarily Facebook, Flickr, YouTube, and Twitter. And Facebook is definitely our primary social media channel that we use to build a community around conversations around travel to Newfoundland and Labrador. However, this year, we've also added Instagram. And we did a strategic, we've been looking at Medium for a number of years. Initially, when Instagram was launched, we were looking at it as it was skewing to a younger audience base. We weren't really sure how brands were going to be using it. But as we've continued to monitor this channel, it's become very evident that for travel brands, Instagram is a leader. Instagram is one of the biggest, next to Facebook and Twitter, social media platforms, so it is definitely here to stay. And travel brands are the top performing channels on Instagram, so it really allows us to tell our visual storytelling, and we're finding actually been really great so far for us to share our own campaign images, but also to share images from different users and residents and tourism operators. And I'll speak a little bit further about Instagram as I go through the presentation. So this is our Facebook channel, and as Melissa alluded to earlier, actually I think when Melissa and probably ago we were at 89,000, but now we're almost at 94,000. So we've had quite a jump in the past week. This is in large part due to the contest that we have been running for our What's in a Name contest, which I will speak to later as well. But this is quite a significant audience here. So, and it is A large number of this audience is people in Ontario. So most of our audience on here, we do have some local ambassadors, but a lot of it is a non-resident base. And this is our current Twitter channel. As Melissa said, we have just over 31,000 followers on Twitter. And we really use Twitter to communicate news that's right now. So, for example, the first iceberg of the season was spotted yesterday or the day before, and we use Twitter as our mechanism to really push that message out. So it's real time. You know, this festival is happening today. This news story just came out, and we find we do have a lot of engagement on that channel with our potential visitors. We also have another Twitter channel called Iceberg Tweets, and this is for icebergfinder.com. And you'll really see now that iceberg season has begun, activity picking up in this channel. And this is where we will be tweeting out current iceberg sightings. We'll be retweeting people's pictures. So we really encourage tourism operators to interact with us via this channel and when it comes to locating icebergs and sharing iceberg pictures. This is our YouTube channel. We're currently at about 3.7 million views. And we have almost 6,000 subscribers to our channel, and you'll see down there our most recent videos that have been uploaded to the channel are our place name videos, our What's in the Name videos, where we that we recently launched in March. And then we have our Flickr account, which it is a social media platform, but really we use it as a medium where we house all of our professional photography so that we can share that with our media contacts and so that people can go on and really see the professional images that have been captured by our team. And this is our new Instagram channel. So for those of you that don't know, Instagram is a mobile social media photo sharing site. It is primarily on mobile phones, and it was actually the first social media site to be primarily and solely mobile. We just started it at the end of January, and we haven't really done a whole lot to push this channel. Organically, we've grown to about 3 followers in just a couple months, so we're really happy with that, and our pictures have been getting really great engagement. Yeah, we're really finding that the visual assets of our brand and for travel are really resonating with the people on this channel. So now I'm going to get into about how tourism operators can get involved. So I'm going to first speak just generally how tourism operators can be involved throughout the year, and then I'm going to move into more specific examples of how people can get involved with our current campaign initiatives. So some things that we're always looking for and that we really encourage operators to share with us, photos, videos, travel media stories, so any new and unique product offerings you might have, or anything that's really cool that's happening in a specific community or region. Participating in the package program, which Shelley will speak during the presentation. And I will touch also later on UGC, user-generated content versus produced, because sometimes people can feel a little bit intimidated about sharing content with us if it's not, taken on an expensive SLR camera. But really what we're just looking for is quick snaps that are taken on smartphones, videos that are taken on smartphones. It doesn't have to be anything that's professionally produced, and I'll show you some examples of that in the next few slides. The other way tourism operators get involved is we really encourage people to engage with us online in all of our different channels, and I'll show you how you can do that. And just to insert yourself in our conversations, we're always talking with potential visitors, so welcome other operators. Of people that ask us questions, and really you are the experts. You're in the regions. You can answer these questions while promoting your own business. Monitor specific. Our current hashtag, our official hashtag Newfoundland and Labrador Tourism is ExploreNL. Monitor that keyword, use it when you're sharing your content. We're monitoring it every day, and we're retweeting, sharing, reposting content that's relevant for our audience. And then lastly, engage with our current campaign initiatives. We create themes and campaigns every year, and it's a great opportunity for tourism operators to kind of latch on to these campaigns that we're investing our resources into to really ride the wave of the popularity of those campaigns. So here's just a couple of specific examples that we've picked out that we've found worked really well, both for our own audience and in terms of promoting tourism operators. So in terms of sharing photos, here's an example where Trinity Eco Tours, they let us know the day the puffins arrived in and shared those with us. This is content because it was right in the moment. It was, puffins have arrived, you can tell us in right now, and this is what you see. And that's really exciting for potential customers. It's great to have photos from previous years or just general nice photography. That always does really well. But when we can kind of say this is what's happening in the moment, that really resonates well with potential visitors. The same goes for icebergs. We obviously love getting great iceberg shots from any year. If you're sharing shots with us that are from previous years, just make sure you let us know when and where it was taken, because we need to preface that in all of our posts, because we don't want people to think that they can see that iceberg right now. So we would, now that iceberg season has started, any pictures that you get that you want to share with us, please where and when it was taken, because people are always looking to us to see when the most recent icebergs are. And for example, Shannon took these pictures a couple on a regular, I don't know much on here today, but it was on a camera or a smartphone, but okay. But you can see these aren't professionally shot. He doesn't like it when I say that. They're just regular anybody could take, but they're so spectacular that people, they're authentic, and when people come on here and they see these, they know that someone stepped out their door and they took a picture here, and that's nothing you could ever see in Ontario. You see skyscrapers in Ontario, but you don't see iceberg high-rises like this. So this did really, really well. So just going to talk a bit about sharing videos, because there was a couple of changes that I'd like to kind of highlight for operators this year. So we're always looking for videos for two reasons. One is to add to our various channels on YouTube, because as you see, we have people who are subscribed to our channel, so we add our different channels, and playlists get pulled into our website, so any of our videos that you see on our website are getting pulled in directly from YouTube. But we're also looking for Facebook videos. And I'll tell you the difference is that Facebook recently changed their algorithm, and Facebook has their own native video player. So in terms of getting your video by as many people as possible, Facebook is penalizing brands that are sharing from YouTube. So if you follow us on Facebook, that all of our videos are actual Facebook embedded instead of us sharing our YouTube links. We still put our video places because they both serve and they reach different audiences. It's just your video on Facebook and you're sharing. Either give us the permission to upload videos to our channel directly, or you can upload the videos to your business page and share the link with us, because that way they'll have a further reach, and then our algorithm on Facebook won't be penalized for sharing YouTube videos. And if anybody has, it's a little bit complicated, so if anybody has any questions at the end of the presentation, I can give a little bit more detail. But these are an example of the types of content we're looking for. Caribou, for us, sometimes in different communities, that's a normal, everyday occurrence. But for people in Ontario or across Canada or anywhere else, this is a really amazing and unique experience, and that's what a traffic jam looks like. And that's really compelling to potential visitors. Mostly everybody here has probably seen the double whale breach video. I think I saw O'Brien's is actually on here today. I saw Kate there, so that video obviously did really well. So really these unique experiences, this is what we're looking to share with our audiences. And this is just an example of how our YouTube channels, our playlists, get pulled into our website. So these videos weren't put on our website, they're getting pulled in from YouTube. So every time we put a video into one of our playlists, it automatically then goes onto our website. So I'm just going to touch briefly on the packages program because Shelley will be speaking to it. But operators that do participate in our package program do get shared through our social media channels. And we're always looking for packages. And as Shelley will speak to, packages are performing so well on our website. It's really crazy to not participate in the program because it really gives you such an advantage. And we share those packages, and we do so pretty frequently. This is an example, I've been using this for a while now, but it's one of my favorite examples of the Provincial Historic Sites Point of Moore Lighthouse had a package, and we posted it with this amazing image, and we had so many people who wanted to book that package right away, and then the Provincial Historic Sites came on and they were answering questions. So it's a really good example of how holistically we are working with operators to promote their business and how operators are then in turn working with us to kind of continue that conversation. And we are always looking for stories, and Jillian Marks isn't here today, or Aaron Skinner, but they lead our travel media program, so they will often get emails and calls from publicists who are just looking for stories, either to come and visit the province and experience the stories or just to write about. So if we don't know about new products and new experiences, we can't pass that information along to potential travel writers. So always keep us informed of what's new and what's going on. So for example, last fall, we had a writer from the National Geographic ask us, I need some of your top fall festivals. So one of the examples we passed along was the Partridge Berry Festival in Fogo Island, and then that got picked up on the Travel Channel as well as National Geographic. So these are big media brands, so you can have the potential to get this exposure if you keep us in the loop of what's new and exciting. Another example of USA Today, who came and visited the eastern part of the province. And just to note that culinary is really big right now, so we're often getting requests for unique culinary experiences. So everyone has probably seen the $1 Million Critic, who came by and saw that episode. Serious Eats came, and they actually did a whole food tour. So if you have any unique culinary experiences, please also share those with us. And participate in our conversations. Something that is getting better, but there is a lot of opportunity for operators that isn't being taken advantage of. So for example, a tourist shared, or I should say a traveler, shared this image with us, and this was from their vacation last year, and we posted their picture. And there was a ton of comments from travelers saying, oh, I was here last year, and I went to these specific operators, and they actually even tagged the operators in the comments. And not one operator went back and said, thanks, glad you enjoyed your visit, or tell your friends, or if you're coming back, we'd love to see you again. These are people, these travelers are actually trying to create a conversation and a relationship with you. So it's really important that you're there and that you respond back and that you build that relationship, because social media is all about two-way conversation, and it's about building those relationships. It's not just about pushing out information. So we will often have people commenting on our posts on all of our platforms. So just keep in mind that every once in a while, go on, have a look at the comments, and where it's appropriate, go ahead and get in and engage. Here are some other examples. Jim, this was in November, looking forward to my trip in August 2015, air, hotel, car booked. Now I just have to fill in the details. Perfect opportunity for an operator to go in and say, hey, if you're taking a boat tour in Twillingate, make sure you come to this one. And you don't want to be overly promotional, but there is a way for operators to kind of get in there and say, hey, what areas are you going, and offer some suggestions, and really kind of getting in there and creating those relationships. Another bottom right corner, we're staying for 2 weeks in July 2015, links on affordable accommodations for 4. Perfect opportunity for any accommodators out there to go in and suggest, maybe one of their Airbnbs, or ask them what parts of the province they're going to. Not one person responded to that, so all we could do was just post a link to a list of every single accommodation that's on our website. So the more specific feedback travelers can get from operators, and we have other travelers and we have residents kind of going on and answering travel questions, but it's a great opportunity. The other thing is that we monitor specific keywords, and you can do this as well, and you can do it in any like Hootsuite or TweetDeck. We personally use Hootsuite. So, for example, one of the keywords we monitor is Newfoundland Labrador tourism. So we're not necessarily getting @mentioned, but I'm still seeing all the conversations. So what we call influencers, which are people who have a lot of followers, mention our brand. So Don Martin from CTV and Hockey Brof, he's a CBC hockey commentator. They both mentioned our brand, so we were able to kind of get in there and continue that conversation and really ride that influencer's influence with their own audience. And as you can see in the Hockey Brof example, even Ice Caps were able to jump in on that conversation. So really good examples of different ways that you can get involved in our conversations. The other thing, as I mentioned earlier, we do have this new official hashtag, ExploreNL. You might be familiar with the Canadian Tourism Commission has their hashtag ExploreCanada. I encourage you to use that one as well because they're always, they actually have said to us that they really lack content from Newfoundland and Labrador. So use our hashtag, use hashtag ExploreNL, and your content, if it's appropriate, will get reshared and retweeted, and it's a great exposure for your business. So I just want to talk briefly about our campaigns for this year and how you can get involved in those. So most of you are probably familiar with our new Place Names campaign. We sent out an email to tourism operators on it earlier this month. So we launched a series of digital videos for our digital advertising campaigns and social media. There were 8 in total, so you can go to our YouTube channel or www.offkilterplaces.ca to see those videos and read the story that we've created around place names. But there's a lot of ways that you can kind of ride on that theme, that campaign that we've created. So you can create a themed package around place names. You can share, I mean, there's so many unique place names in the province. There's so many stories around where those names might have come from. Tell us your story. Is there a community near you? Are you in a community that has a unique place name? Write a blog post, send it to us on social media, and we can reshare that and kind of continue it as a part of our campaign. And you can share and engage with our videos and our contest. We're currently launching our contest each week. We're actually giving away not only flights, but actually there's also packages that are offered. So go on and kind of mention to people, even the winners, hope you're coming by my business. There's all kinds of ways that you can get involved, and you can embed our videos onto your website or share them on your social channels. We're also launching a series of videos in June, I think, late June, called Whale Tales, which are specific stories just about whale watching in the province. So really cool things that have happened, or operators telling stories about visitors who were so excited to see their first whale. I'm sure lots of you have your own whale tale that you can share with us. And share whale sightings. That's another thing we're always sharing in the summer, in the peak whale watching month, where people can go, what types of whales are there, what species. We're always looking for that content. And the other thing is icebergfinder.com was just launched. We have our first 2 icebergs plotted. The visitor information centers are our ambassadors, but they are looking for operators to make daily calls to see where icebergs are located. So if you're interested in being on the call list for the visitor information center so you can report to them where icebergs are in your community, let us know, because that's a way to kind of get your community on the map. So this is just a screenshot from offkilterplaces.ca. You can see in the bottom right-hand corner is the link for the contest. I encourage you to go on and take a look. Our contest, we're actually playing on gamification, which has proved to be very useful for our brand and really fun, and people really enjoy it. So we have, the contest is running for 4 weeks, and each week there is a prize. And this week alone, we've reached almost 100,000 entries, which is really, really great. So I encourage you to share our contest, go on, and there's such a conversation going on around the contest, so feel free to jump on and join it. This is something really cool that Menifee Lodges in Labrador, we sent around an email to tourism operators with the same message saying, participate in our campaigns. And they came on board and they wrote a blog post around Loverboy. and they kind of explain where that name came from. No, it's not an 80s Canadian rock band. It's actually a place in Labrador. And it was excellent. It's really well written, and we shared it on our social media channels, and it got a great reaction. So this was a really cool example of what an operator has done to participate with us in our campaign. And this is just a screenshot of icebergfinder.com. If you haven't been there, I encourage you to check it out. Right now we have 2 icebergs plotted. So as I mentioned, our VICs are our ambassador network, and we also do still run the satellite reporting, which we'll be launching shortly. So if you have questions about this or if you want to get involved, please let us know. So here are some final tips for operators. So monitor our channels, participate in our conversations, and if you want to get in touch with us, @mention us, post on our wall, use the hashtag ExploreNL. We're always monitoring that hashtag, and we're reposting where appropriate. If you are participating in conversations, make sure you're using a business profile. We won't normally engage with like a personal profile if it's meant to be a business profile, so make sure you're logged into your Facebook page. If you're commenting or on Twitter, you're using your professional business handle and not your personal one. Don't be overly promotional. There's a time and a place. Sometimes it's warranted to suggest a specific product, but really the goal is to create a relationship and have a conversation. Share with us engaging content. As I mentioned, you can @mention us, you can post to our wall, or just send us an email. And if something's really important, pop us an email, because that way we're monitoring thousands and thousands of different accounts. And the hashtags, we get tons of posts a day, so it's likely that sometimes things can get missed. So if something's really important, just pop us an email. Develop your content based on research. There's been a ton of really great research come out from our research division, most recently the exit survey, and it talks about the products and experiences that our types of travelers are looking for. So have a look through that report if you're wondering what you should develop next or what you should talk about, because that's what we do when we're looking at developing our campaign initiatives. And then finally, stay true to the Newfoundland and Labrador tourism brand. We've spent many years establishing this brand and our brand language and our brand voice and our image. And if you look at this, we all need to speak with one brand voice with everything that touches the consumer to make sure they have a consistent experience. Travelers often, they have a lot of different messages. So not only are we speaking to them as Newfoundland and Labrador Tourism, but the VICs are speaking to them, tourism operators are speaking to them, their friends and family, frontline staff. And it's important that we all give the same message, and that is that we are natural, genuine, and authentic. We're comfortable in our own skin. We're spontaneous. We're creative and colorful. We're uncomplicated. We're witty. And, of course, we're courteous, professional, and hospitable. So it's important that we all reach and speak to customers with the same brand voice. And that's it for me for now. And we'll take it over, or give it to Shelley.
Thanks, Amy. There was so much information in that presentation. We're going to take a minute to switch over from one PowerPoint to another and switch gears from social media to newfoundlandlabrador.com. And while we do that, if anybody has any questions for Amy or social media related, you can go ahead and type in the chat window, or pressing #6 will unmute your phone line and you can ask a question that way.
Hi, Amy.
Hello.
Hi, Amy. Is it possible for you to email us that presentation sometime afterwards?
Yes, for sure. We'll get H&L a PDF version of it. Yeah, and they can email it out to the participants.
Awesome.
Melissa's
Thanks
nodding,
a lot.
so yeah.
Yeah, we usually do a follow-up email that'll include Does anybody have any other questions? #6 will unmute your phone line. Lots of people typing. It was a great presentation. All right, so you guys can continue typing comments in there, and if you have questions, just make note of them. We'll definitely have some time to address them at the end, hopefully. But right now we're going to pass it over to Shelley, and she's going to switch gears and talk a little bit about the website, newfoundlandlabrador.com.
Good morning, everyone. Sorry, just figuring out the mouse here. So thanks for joining us this morning. We're really pleased by the turnout, and Amy had lots of information. I have some more for you. There's so much, so feel free to contact us afterwards. I'm going to chat with you about Newfoundland and Labrador.com and two of the main opportunities that are available for you there. Melissa mentioned in the introduction that Newfoundland and Labrador.com gets over 1.9 million visits. That was in 2014. Well, we're really pleased to report that so far this year, that traffic is up almost 9%. It looks there's been many changes to our online advertising campaign, lots of tweaks. We change things every year a little bit to make it perform better, and it's really working in our favor this year. The main opportunity on our website is business listings. So I'm going to kind of walk you through the business listings and how you can enhance your presence there. On Newfoundland and Labrador.com, in the Plan a Trip section is a travel directory. And there visitors can search for accommodations and parks, attractions, outfitters, tours, and shops. And it brings in a full listing of the tourism operators and businesses that are available. Let me just press it here, sorry. A user can also click on a business that they're interested in and open up a full business detail listing page. And here's one from Marble Inn Resort. And those business listings not only appear on the Plan a Trip section, but within Things to Do and Places to Go, we pull in those business listings on relevant pages. So here, for example, is the whale watching page, where we provide great content on whale watching in the province and how to view it. And we pull in any kind of operator that would be relevant to that topic that's on that page. So this would be very similar, the hiking, iceberg page, anything like that provides content on how a visitor can experience. And what we want to do is close the path to purchase here. So someone's interested in whales, well, we want to show them how to experience it. So what we want to do is provide the business listings so that they can call an operator and book the experience. So how to enhance your website listings? Well, one of the important reasons why you want to look at your business listings is that more and more visitors are actually viewing the business listings than ever before. And in fact, in 2014, there was an increase of 16%. Over 1 million visits on our website were directly to business listings. So it's important that you pay attention to those and provide your best online presence on our site. And we count referrals. We actually count how many times a visitor goes to your business listing and clicks on your website URL and your email address. And people are really engaging with business listings more than ever before. Last year we provided almost 350,000 referrals. That's a real lead to tourism operators from NL.com, and that's an increase of 22% in 1 year. And we're looking at strong increases for this year. Your business listing, how you provide it, it starts with your business listing information that you sent here. Melissa, the screen's not advancing. Sorry for a moment, guys. There. A little delay.
Yeah, it's a delay on my computer over there. It might be fine for us then.
Okay, sorry about that, folks. It's a little delay in advancing the screen. So you all should be familiar with this form. It's called the Tourism Operator Profile, and you would have all received one in the last couple of weeks to send in your information for 2016. And basically, most of the information you put into this form is published, and we use that to put it into our database, and we pull it into your business listing in the travel guide and the website and the mobile apps. Some of you may be familiar with the online update as well, web update, so you can send information that way as well. And I'll just go through a couple important elements in your business listing. Right here is an example from Nettie's Harbor Inn. This line here we call your short description. There's 200 characters. And those 200 characters is not a lot, but they have to do a lot of heavy lifting. They have to make the initial impression of your business. So when someone is on our website or in the travel guide, it has to compel them to say, I'm interested in this place, and maybe I need to click on their website or their business listing or give them a call to find out more about them. So it's really critical that you include things that are the most attractive about your business, the most unique, makes you stand out from your competitors. The other important section of your business listing is your web description. Now you have 500 characters to describe your business. So what you want to do is take that short description and expand on it. Use keywords that people can use to find your business, because Google also indexes this page. So if they're looking for a property in Gross Mourne, well, Nettie's Harbour Inn business listing may actually appear right in the Google search results, and they'll come directly here or to Nettie Harbour's website. So your keywords, what makes you unique and special, is really critical you include that. Here's a good hint for you. If you're struggling with what to put in there, you might want to visit your page on TripAdvisor to see what your clients are saying about you. And then very easily you can find what makes you special and unique, because they're going to tell others on TripAdvisor. A couple of little hints for you here is don't duplicate your words here, because you want to make these 500-word character descriptions count. So don't put your business name in there, for example. It already appears above. Don't put your website address or your rates, because they appear in other places. Just focus on the main features, your unique selling point, and information about the surrounding area, especially important for accommodations, because people are actually booking your community, not an accommodation overly. So talk about the coastline, if you're near a park or a unique attraction. Really important about entry points, if you're located near an airport or a ferry terminal. I want to talk to you about how we pull in the business listings into our website a little more. Here's our hiking and walking section. On the right-hand corner, we have related services, and this is another reason why the keywords you put into your descriptions are really critical, because if you have a hiking and walking product nearby, if you put hiking and walking into your description, we pull that in. That is pulled in by the keywords that you supply to us. Back on your business listing again. Recently we've added the ability for you to add your social media links. So we know that travelers want to connect to businesses through their social media, so you can put those links there, and they're performing really well. We've also provided a way for you to put TripAdvisor or any other kind of review sites that you have a listing on your business listing as well. And research tells us that before someone books, they'd like to hear referrals, and it's a trusted source. So people really enjoy using TripAdvisor, so we've added that to our business listings. If you have an online reservation system, we also have a new field there. So it's a direct link to your online reservation system. It can't be a reservation request form, because a lot of operators have that. What we're looking for here is a direct link to a system where someone can book in real time. They provide a method of payment, electronic payment, and they get a confirmation. And that's a means for us to close that path to purchase, because making a holiday or booking a holiday is very complicated. There's very many elements. So if we can provide any ease in that kind of steps that they need to do, booking being one of them, have less clicks, this is why we provide it. We want to make the decision and the path to purchase as easy as possible. One of the things that we did this year, you would have noticed when you got your mail out for the top form for 2016, is we developed a quick reference guide, a little handy kind of tool for you to use and provide some helpful hints on as you write your business listing. It focuses on some hints on some things that I went through earlier, how to write a short description, a long description, what's the difference, and what kind of things you put in there. It also goes over the key elements of a business listing so that you understand from the form that it is actually published, and you can relate it back to the form what fields are actually published. And we've also done some sample descriptions to provide you with some inspiration of things that travelers are looking for in a business description. The second opportunity available on NL.com is a paid program. It's our package marketing program. And the main benefit of this program is to expand your business listing, expand your presence on our site. Because right now you have a business listing, and we do pull that all through the site. But through special offers, you can really expand your presence because in many ways you can, depending upon your package and who you partner with, your package could appear on 4 to 8, probably up to 12 pages throughout this website. So special offers is one of our top viewed pages on NL.com. And here's just some examples. Now you'll notice some of these are high price points, but we're not only looking for those multi-day things, we're looking for day trips as well. Sorry, it's loading a little slow again here. Bear with me. Here's just some stats from 2014 regarding special offers and packages. That section in 2014 received 190,000 page views. And referrals, remember I was telling you on the business listing how we track referrals? Well, we do that on packages as well. So every time a traveler clicks on a business URL, going to their website, or to their email, we track that. And that's a real lead. So last year alone, we had probably about 100 packages throughout the year, and they received 27,000 referrals. And that's up 56% over 2013. And I looked at the numbers the other day for packages so far in 2015, and referrals are up 70%. That's 70. So we know that visitors going to this section of the website are far down the path to purchase. So if they're looking at packages, they got their credit card out, they're ready to book, and they want to book with you. So it's a really great way to do some target marketing to find those visitors that are not only thinking of a trip to Newfoundland and Labrador, that they are ready, they're committed to come. We make those assumptions. I mentioned earlier that the package way to increase your presence, you can have 4+ additional pages or more. You can also calculate your return on investment. The typical package placement is 3 months, but you can book anywhere up to 12 months in multiple packages. You pay your DMOs, and I provide them with a report 3 times a year that gives all of the referrals. So you can contact them to find out how your package is performing, and you can calculate the return on your investment. And there's very few marketing opportunities for you to actually do that, to find out what marketing tactics you're using, that you could find out, is it worth your while or not? And as I said earlier, it's a good indication, if they're clicking over to your website, that these visitors are very interested and they're ready to book. There's many value-added opportunities for people who participate in our package program. Amy alluded to some a little earlier. Here's another example. Tour Labrador put a package with us last year. They participate pretty much every year. Your packages appear on the special offers page, but it also appears on your business listing page. So here's their offer that they have below. And they partner with Battle Harbour Inn. So where do you think that goes? Well, that goes right under Battle Harbour's business listing as well. Battle Harbour actually has 4 business listings. So now Tour Labrador's package is on an additional 5 pages. And when you add a package, you can tag it. So whatever the theme of the package is, so Tour Labrador's package was tagged with whale watching and 4 other tags. So right at the bottom of the whale watching page, there is Tour Labrador's page right there. Very relevant. So if someone is really keen on whale watching, they're going to the page to find out more information, and they scroll down to the bottom, and here's an offer that they can purchase right away. And you'll notice that they have online booking, so it's really a great way for them to close the path to purchase and make it very easy. Another value add that you can participate in is to purchase this. Basically, it's like a banner ad. This is a featured placement as well, so it's a 1 month. It costs $175. A brand new initiative that we're launching next month, we're very, very excited about, is an itinerary planner. For the last couple of years, we've noticed our itinerary page trending high, so there's a lot of visitors. So that's an indication that people are seeking information on how to experience this place. How do I do a Newfoundland and Labrador vacation? And we knew it was time for a refresh. The content was rather old. So anyway, we've done this really dynamic itinerary planner. We're so excited. We'll be launching with about 23 different itineraries with the goal to add on additional ones. So the visitor can go on and browse to different experiences. The main goal of the itinerary planner is not only to provide them with ideas and inspiration, but we want to close the path to purchase. So packages and business listings are an integral part of the itinerary planner. It hasn't launched yet. We haven't even begun testing, so I don't really have anything to show you other than one of the cover banner images on the welcome page. So stay tuned. We'll send out an e-newsletter to our operators on when that is launched. Some value-add opportunities I was speaking about. Each spring we select probably about 8 to 12 packages, and we put them out in a newsletter, and they perform extremely well. So if you're not participating in the package program, you can't kind of go in that e-newsletter. Not all packages will go in there. We try to mix it up with different products and different areas. They perform exceptionally well, and it also drives additional visitation to the package page so that the visitors can see the other packages that are available. I mean, some of these packages in this newsletter have gotten an additional 1,200 referrals from here. Amy mentioned about social media. So again, when Jillian and Aaron get those earlier, here's one from Rafting NL. They were featured in the Gazette, one of their packages. This is an example of last year's newspaper campaign. We also include packages on there as means to close the path to purchase. Typically we use the tour operators that offer the multi-day packages, so some of you may partner with those. McCarthy's, Vision, Maxim, Lincoln, there's 5 or 6 of them that we use in the online and newspaper campaign. We also use our social media channels to promote our packages. Here's one that performed really well about checking out what packages are there for iceberg viewing. Just to repeat that example that Amy had about the package in Labrador. So we use that content in social media. So that kind of wraps up opportunities that are on nl.com. I just want to leave you with the new website because of the departments merged and our websites finally merged there a few weeks ago. So you will find all of our contact information under the tourism section of the departmental website. All of our contact information is there, but also information about our programs. You will find that user guide I was telling you about, TDMS, and the quick reference guide there as well if you're interested in those things, because the deadline for 2016 is coming up May 31st. And I just want to remind you, too, that you can update your listing more than once. So while May 31st is the deadline for 2016, if you feel like you want to make some changes for 2015, that's no problem. There are some fields you can't change, accommodations you can't change, rates and things like that. But you can contact us, and within the site there's a section on how to update your business listing. One of the common mistakes isn't kind of the right word, but overlook is our festival events. And I don't think we have a lot of festival events on board, but I bet festival events are a big tourism generator to fill your businesses. So check out the festival events listings on nl.com. You will find that because you have to submit a year before, they don't have the dates there. So it'll be July TBD. But we need to get the word out to these festival event organizers to come back to us when they know the dates, and they can update their business listing on nl.com and the mobile app. And it's really critical because festival events, those are the kind of questions that people are wondering, and they're using the website and the mobile app when they're asking, what am I going to do today? And if there's a festival there and that doesn't have the date that they're looking for, then it's a missed opportunity. So I just want to kind of get that message out as well. So that kind of wraps up our presentation. And I guess we can open it up to the floor if we have some time. Hey, Melissa?
Yeah, for sure. We still got some time left. So if anybody has any questions for Amy or Shelley about, we just learned a lot of information about their social media channels and NewfoundlandLabrador.com. I see Tina had typed a question there for Amy about wondering if operators can be notified when the opportunity arises, or is it best to follow the social media channels on a regular basis?
Hi, Tina. That is a great question. So one of the examples I used earlier with the picture with all the icebergs and Twillingate, I mentioned that specific tourism areas were mentioned and didn't come on. So we did actually either go to those operators directly, or normally what we do is we'll actually go to the DMO that is, the operator is in that area. So we would have contacted like the CDMO or the EDMO, and then they would have touched base directly with the operators. So if there's an instance where an operator is being mentioned and they're not responding, and we notice that, we will kind of proactively go out and make sure that's addressed. But in terms of like general opportunities, so someone's asking for an accommodation or someone's asking about boat tours, it's just they happen too frequently to kind of stay on top of and to email specific operators. So the best thing to do is to monitor our channels. And in Facebook, we make on average probably 1 or 2 posts a day. So if you can make it part of the routine that you just kind of go on and have a look what happened that day, maybe look back at the previous 2 or 3 posts to see what comments are there. Instagram, we post normally 1 photo a day, and we might increase that amount. And then Twitter, you can always just look up those keywords like I mentioned. So if you're using a platform like Hootsuite or TweetDeck, really useful for setting up keyword monitoring. So it really just needs to be made part of the routine. And if you kind of get into that daily or biweekly or whatever fits into your schedule, you can come across those opportunities.
Yeah, I think that's a good point, Amy, about making it part of the routine. It's all hard enough to fit in the social media monitoring and thinking about what we're going to post today and how we're going to post it and getting all that great content out. But even if maybe you don't have some organic information that you want to post from your business on a particular day, you can easily go and like and share from Newfoundland Labrador.com or their social media channels, and if keeping an eye on it is a really good way to just find those opportunities where you can communicate and engage with potential customers or people who are traveling to the region.
Yeah, and just to mention too, Facebook's had a couple of layout changes. I mean, it changes all the time. If you go on our page, not only look at our posts, but you look at our wall and you'll see it on the left-hand side of the page now, because the main content area is just our posts. So definitely have a look at the comments. Sometimes there could be hundreds of comments, but have a quick scroll through. But also just make sure you take a look at the wall post on the left side, because that's where we get a lot of questions. So, and sometimes that can be missed.
If anybody has any questions, we still have some time left. Amy and Shelley are still here to take your questions, so you can press #6 to unmute your phone line, or type in the chat window. I think Jessie in the room here with H&L has a question.
I sure do. I was wondering, and I don't know if I'm going to get jumped across the table at, you mentioned the mobile app. Is there any Android app on the future? Because it's only for iPhone, and I am not an iPhone user.
Yeah, me neither. I have an Android.
I agree.
As well. Yeah.
There's a couple of us here in the room.
And we know that Android has overtaken the market share, but we're monitoring what our market uses, and the majority of our market is Apple. We will have a rebuild for the website, and it will be responsive. So it will be viewable on multiple devices, but right now there's no plans for an Android. Yeah.
And just kind of add on that, when we launched the iPhone app, as Shelley mentioned, so we can see all these stats in Google Analytics, and operators who have a website, strongly encourage you set up your analytics and have a look at that, so you can see who's accessing your site from what device. And it was a really significant number, iPad and iPhone. And then when you just look at the investment into developing another app, or rather developing a responsive website, which can be accessed on anything, including Blackberries and things like that, it makes the most sense to go down the responsive route. And we're seeing more and more that apps, and the thing with digital is that it's changing all the time. So keeping up on all the different trends, and we're just seeing from our different DMOs across the country and also internationally, you're seeing that app development is a slowing trend, and because access is becoming greater, both in the province and also nationally, that people are just going for responsive sites instead of app development.
We have a question in the chat window from Scott Smith. Scott is a new member of Hospitality in Newfoundland and Labrador. His question, he is an outfitter. For a salmon fishing outfitter, what is the best time of year for a special offer?
So Andrew Weir, he's not here today. He's the advertising officer in our division, and he handles all of the hunting and angling packages and special offers. Shelley and I deal mostly with the touring and explorer. We can give you Andrew's contact information maybe through the chat window, but I believe, and Shelley, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but the hunting and angling packages you submit in December and then they run for the full year. They're a little bit different than the touring explorer, but if you wanted to submit a package, we can definitely arrange that by giving you Andrew's contact information.
Yeah, the only thing I would add to that is that, Scott, if you're an outfitter who has, you're offering the lodge experience, that's through Andrew. But if you offer a guiding service and do the day trips, you can participate in the program for packages that I run. And that's an excellent question. I'd have to kind of ask some of our staff member that's involved with angling and fishing in our department. But what we see is that our visitation to NL.com takes off as soon as we launch our advertising campaign. So it's mid-January, and it continues all through the summer. And if I was a tourism operator, package marketing program is definitely something I would test for my business, and I would start from the get-go and have it there throughout from January onwards. Because we get a lot of repeat visitors too. So they may come in January and they're thinking about coming, and they're going to be back in July when they're planning and saying, well, what am I going to do tomorrow if I'm going through Humber Valley and I want to go fishing there? So we might be able to get some information for you about performance of those, but you can give a call and we can give you some more information.
Shelley, do you have month-by-month visitation to the website and referral information available?
Yeah, well, it's a bit of a difficult report to run, so it's very timely. So we provide it to the DMOs 3 times a year, and then they disseminate that information to the operators. That's how we do it.
Okay, because I had a question.
Over Sorry?
Sorry, I had a question similar to Scott's in that, when should we be putting this stuff out there? Like, as an example, if you're to do a 3-month package, do you put it out January, February, March, or March, April, May, or et cetera, et cetera?
I think it all depends upon the type of business. I'm hearing from the tour operators that offer the multi-day. They want to be out there as soon as we launch our campaign. People that are doing kind of day trips, they definitely want to be there during July and August when people are on the ground. But it's, I really can't answer that other than I know that they're performing really well right now. Like all of our packages, the referrals are up 70%. So it changes every year as well.
But the DMOs do have access to that month-to-month visitation information?
They don't get it monthly, no, 3 times a year. So they get a 4-month report at a time. Yeah.
Okay.
And so it's nothing kind of, like they'd have to divide the report up and contact the operators individually to give them their report. It's nothing that they can post. It's not public information other than the accumulated numbers.
Right. Okay. It'll just give us an idea of, the trend, I guess.
Right. And you should be able, if you're a package provider, if you have your Google Analytics set up, you should be able to see how many referrals you're getting from our site as well.
Does anybody have any other questions? Either in the chat or on the phone? All right, so if there aren't any other questions, I would like to sincerely thank Amy and Shelley for their time this morning. And they have always come with a really great presentation and a lot of informative and helpful tips and tricks for operators leading up to the season as they're getting ready to get really into the busy summer season for tourism. So I'd like to thank them again for coming over here and sharing all of that information with us. To the attendees on the line on the webinar, if you got any value from this webinar today, we'd really encourage you to share your experience either on social media, Facebook or Twitter, pop us an email, or even encourage other operators in your region to join on for our upcoming webinars. And you yourselves, if you haven't already registered, we have a webinar next week. It's called Keeping Up with Google. Google has recently changed its algorithm so that if you don't have a mobile-friendly website, it'll rank you a little bit lower in the search rankings. So we're going to be talking with one of our members, Scott Ulford of Infinitus Marketing and Technology. He's going to be here to be talking about different mobile-friendly options and solutions that you can implement with your website to help you out with that issue. And then the following week on May 13th, Scott Andrews from the Department of Tourism is also going to be back. He's going to be talking about the Creating Experiences toolkit that the department has created for operators to use to help them plan experiences with their business and really get that reach out to their customers. So he'll be back talking about that one. So I encourage you to go to hnl.ca and sign up for those two webinars upcoming in the next 2 weeks. They're going to be really great sessions. So thank you, everybody, for signing on today. There will be a follow-up email coming out this afternoon. I will include links to the presentations as well as a link to a quick survey so you can tell us what you thought of today's webinar and ways to improve or suggestions for future topics, all of that good stuff. So thanks again for spending the morning with us, and have a great day.